So in today's video, I'm going to be previewing Bradford City versus Barrow AFC, and then the second part of today's video, I'm going to bring you guys my Game Week 17 League 2 score predictions. If you do go on to enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 80 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are now on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match. What would your stand 11 be as well? Obviously, it's been quite a while since our last league game. That defeat against Sutton United feels like a long time ago. A lot of things have changed. Kevin McDonald is no longer our caretaker player manager. Mark Truman is no longer our caretaker manager. We now have Graham Alexander at the wheel. He is in until the summer of 2026. Make sure to go check out my full thoughts on his appointment if you haven't already. But on to this one against Barrow. It's going to be a tough game. Barrow, a good side. They haven't lost, I think, since when we played Tranmere away, which was on the 3rd of October. So they're a very good side. Pete Wild is obviously a very good manager. I would have loved him at Bradford City, but obviously I never thought that was probably realistic because I didn't think we'd go and pay the compensation package to get somebody out of a job. But Barrow are a good team. We normally struggle against Barrow, especially at Valley Parade. I think they've beaten us the last few times there over the last couple of seasons. So fingers crossed we can finally get a win over them and also start out life with Graham Alexander as our manager with 3 points. But make sure to drop a like on there for me. Subscribe if you're new as well, and let's get into it. Channel memberships are now cheaper than ever, with tier 1 costing just 99p. Tier 2 has been reduced from $3.99 a month down to $1.99 a month, and tier 3 has been reduced from $8.99 a month down to just $4.99 a month. Your support, as always, is massively appreciated, and the more members that we have, the better the content will be. Enjoy the rest of the video. Starting out then with the current Sky Bet League 2 table, my team Bradford City, we currently sit 16th in the table. After 16 matches, we've got 5 wins, 5 draws and 6 defeats, scoring 17 and conceding at 21, which leaves us on a -4 goal difference and 20 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a loss, a draw, a win and a win. Them last couple of matches then being a 2-1 defeat at home to Wycombe Wanderers in the first round of the FA Cup, a 3-0 win at home to Manchester City's under-21s in the Football League Trophy, a 2-1 defeat away at Sutton United, a 4-1 defeat away at MK Dons, a 1-1 draw at home to Wrexham AFC, a 1-0 win away at AFC Wimbledon, a 2-1 win away at Grimsby Town in the Football League Trophy, and a 1-0 win at home to Swindon Town. So lots of cup matches being played for us recently, but if we compare that then to Barrow AFC, they currently sit 8th in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 16 matches, they've got 6 wins, 7 draws, and only 3 defeats, which I think is fairly impressive for a side not currently in the playoffs. You look at teams like Accrington, who are above them, currently on 6 points. So Barrow very rarely lose, but they've just picked up too many draws so far this season. They've scored 18, but only conceded 14 as well. That is the least amount of goals conceded in the league, but only scoring 18 is certainly one of the fewer, especially in that top half of the table though. That does leave them on a positive 4 goal difference and 25 points. The last couple of matches then have been a win, a draw, a win, a draw and a draw. Them last couple of matches then being a 2-1 win at home to Liverpool's under-21s in the Football League Trophy, a 3-1 win away at Northampton Town. I was pretty sure that game was at home, but apparently it was away from home against Northampton Town in the FA Cup first round. A 1-0 win at home to Morecambe FC, a 0-0 draw at home to Salford City, a 2-0 win away at Forest Green Rovers, a 0-0 draw at home to AFC Wimbledon, and a 2-2 draw away at MK Dons. Now we're going to get into the team though that I would go with if I was Graham Alexander. Now obviously we don't really know what formation Alexander is going to go with. Is he going to go with a similar 4-2-3-1 tactic which we've seen at Valley Parade for the last about 3-4 seasons now, or is he going to stick with his tried and tested 4-4-2, which isn't really a 4-4-2, it's more like if you've ever played FIFA, like a 4-2-2-2, where the wingers actually plays more number 10s basically, and that is a formation that I have gone with in this game. In goal, I've gone with Harry Lewis. Now, I've only been able to watch the highlights from our last game against Wycombe Wanderers. It seems like he'd made some really good saves, but then the goals, I think especially that first goal, it's right at him and it just goes through him, and Harry Lewis so far this season just has not been good enough, and we all know that. Yes, he's pulled off a few decent saves at times, but he's cost us far much more than what he saved us, which is massively disappointing because last season he must have won us about 20 points. He was unreal last year. This season hasn't quite found that consistency, so I hope he comes good again under Graham Alexander. Into the back four then, I think you've got to go tried and tested. So at right back, I've stuck with Brad Halliday. He is the best right back in the entire division. Hasn't quite hit the standards of what he hit earlier on in the season over the last few matches in my opinion, but we all know the quality that Brad Halliday does bring to this side, and I'm glad that he is finally getting his flowers because he's a very, very good defender at this level. Into the two centre-backs then. At first, I've gone with Matty Platt. I think he's going to be back from his injury. It was some sort of toe injury, which he should have been back for the Wycombe game for, but then on the Friday, just before the game, it started swelling up again, so that's why he was unavailable for the Wycombe game, but he should definitely be back now, and I think out of all our defenders, he's the best partner to go with alongside him in Sam Stubbs. We all know how good Stubbs normally is. Obviously, he did score an own goal against Wycombe, but I think that was just poor defending from a number of players, and Osadibe originally lost the ball in a stupid area, and then a lack of communication, really, between Stubbs and Lewis. But in my opinion, Platt and Stubbs are our best two centre-halves, and I think certainly come January, you're going to see at least two central defenders depart, in my opinion. Who that may be, we don't really know. Obviously, that does include Timmy Odesina, who is currently out on loan at Woking, I do believe. And at left back then, I've gone with Lewis Richards. I think Liam Rideout is probably done. I don't see a way in which he comes back into this side. If I'm honest with you, I think he was clearly a favourite under Mark Hughes, and now that he's moved on, obviously Kevin McDonald picked him because of his experience, but Lewis Richards is definitely the much better player. I was impressed with Lewis Richards in his most recent outing against Manchester City's under-21s in the Papa John's Trophy, so I'd like to see him come in at left back. Into the two at central midfielders then. Now I think against a team like Barrow, you're going to need some legs, you're going to need some energy, but then you're also going to need some brute force and some good tackling in there, so I've gone with the tried and tested once more. Firstly, in Richie Smallwood, I would be surprised if Alexander picks somebody else to be the captain. You know, I think if you change a captain mid-season, it can definitely unsettle the dressing room, so I certainly can't see Alexander doing that. And Smallwood, for me, has been very good since Mark Hughes departed the football club. I think it's very evident there was some sort of a fallout between Smallwood and Hughes, and that's why he wasn't playing. And when he was playing, he wasn't really playing well. I don't think the system really suited him. But under McDonald, he did look really good. So I hope that Alexander can get the best out of him. And partnering him, I've gone with Alex Gilliard. Like I mentioned, against a team like Barrow, they've got a lot of legs and energy in that midfield. So you're going to need something to combat that. And that is why I've gone with Gilliard. And I think in the games McDonald's played while being player manager, obviously he didn't really impress too much because he's more focusing on the managing thing while trying to play, which you've got to give him big credit for. That is something that we've forever got to be grateful for Kevin McDonald for the last month or so. So big thank you to him, but he does not make my starting 11. Into the two wingers then, that actually players like inverted number 10s. On the right side, I've gone with Bobby Poynton. I think regardless of who's been manager so far this season, he has been the one standout this season, and the fact that we've still not extended his contract is an absolute crime. Out of all the bad things the board have done wrong, the fact that this man is not on a new long-term contract is criminal. And if you agree with me, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below, because in my opinion, Bobby Poynton, the priority has to be to tie him down to a new 3, 4, 5 year contract, because he is the truth, he is the future of Bradford City, and in my opinion he does deserve a new long-term contract. And on the left side, I've gone with Jamie Walker. I've been very impressed with him over the last couple of matches since he came back from his suspension. I think he has been pretty good. Obviously scored the goal against Wycombe and apparently had some really nice link-up play again with Bobby Poynton. And I think coming in off the left to play centrally, I think Alexander really could get the best out of Jamie Walker, and I'm really excited to see how he does get on under Alexander, and that is why I've gone with him in my side. Into the two strikers then, these are the only real two available if I'm honest. Firstly, I've obviously gone with Andy Cook. He is still our main goal threat. Will Alexander be able to get 31 goals out of him this season like what Mark Hughes got out of him last season? I'm not so sure. Will Lydon Oliver be much more of an important figure in this side now we've had the change of manager? We'll have to wait and see, but Cook for me is still one of the first names on the team sheet. I know he gets a lot of stick and criticism, or he has done from our fans this season, because he set the expectations so high last year, but Cook for me absolutely has to start. And partnering him, I've gone with Tyler Smith. I don't want to see a Derbyshire and a Foker. I wouldn't really be interested in seeing them as the partner to Andy Cook. And Tyler Smith obviously scored that hat-trick, first half hat-trick as well against Man City's under-21s, but again, you got to factor in the opposition. Their defenders are 50 times less physical than League 2 defenders, and especially teams like Barrow, they've got big physical centre-halves like a Niall Canavan who'll just kick the lumps out of Tyler Smith. So he's going to need to be smart with his play if he does get the opportunity, but I certainly would like to see Tyler Smith start for this match. On the bench then for me, that'd leave Colin Doyle, Daniel Ugoke, Jonathan Tompkinson, Kevin McDonald, Adam Wilson, Harry Chapman and Rayhan Tulloch. The player currently unavailable is Alex Patterson, which means the players who would miss out through selection would be Harvey Rowe, Ash Taylor, Kieran Kelly, Liam Rideout, Emmanuel Sadibe, Clark Ador, Chisholm Foker, Matt Derbyshire and Lydon Oliver. Now I think Oliver is now back in full training win. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think we'll risk him yet. He might be, if he's fully fit and available, I'd have him on the bench over Rayhan Tulloch, but that's not been confirmed. There was no pre-match press conference today. It might end up being on Friday, so we'll have to wait and see from that. If Oliver, like I say, if he's fit and available, I'd put him on the bench over Tulloch. As of right now, I would just let him miss out because I'm not personally too sure. Now then, let's get into my Game Week 17 League 2 score predictions. Starting out then with AFC Wimbledon versus Doncaster Rovers, I am going to go with a 1-1 draw. Bradford City versus Barrow AFC, I'm also going to go with a 1-1 draw. Colchester United versus Sutton United, I'm going to go with a 3-1 home win for Call U. Crawley Town versus Accrington Stanley, I'm going to back Crawley for a 2-1 home win. Crewe Alexandra versus Notts County, I think it'll be a tight 2-1 away win for the away side. Grimsby Town versus Morecambe FC, I think finishes in a 2-0 away win for Derek Adams' side. Newport County versus MK Dons, I think finishes in a 3-1 away win for Mike Williamson's outfit. Salford City versus Mansfield Town. Mansfield have lost a couple of games recently. I think they've lost 3 in a row now in 3 different cup competitions, and I'm going to back Salford for a 2-1 home win. Swindon Town versus Stockport County. Swindon having crazy off the field issues at the moment. They're basically having to field their bench with a bunch of academy players, and Stockport in fine form. I can only see a hammer in here in Stockport's favour. I'm going 5-1 to the visitors. Tranmere Rovers versus Forest Green Rovers, I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Tranmere. Walsall FC versus Harrogate Town, I think finishes in a 2-2 draw. And Wrexham AFC versus Gillingham FC, I think finishes in a 4-2 home win for Wrexham. But I am going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try to 80 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get a comment as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match and what would your starting 11 be as well. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you very soon for another one. Peace.